What a shocker at Craven Cottage. Liverpool had the chance to move 14 points clear at the top, but a disastrous defensive display saw them slump to a 3-2 defeat against Fulham. Stick around as we break down all the drama, key moments, and what this means for the title race.
3-1, I can tell you, Matthijs Tel has just scored the penalty, so Spurs look like they've beaten Southampton. They think it's all over, and it looks like it is now for the Saints. This is how it leaves us standing at the top, though. Liverpool still with an 11-point advantage over Arsenal, who will rue letting Everton take a point in that game yesterday. That might have made it very tasty, but still there is comfort in an 11-point lead. 10 points now needed. Oh, it's still 11 points, isn't it? Needed to be crowned champions. Right at the bottom, so in a matter of seconds, Southampton will be confirmed as dropping down to the Championship. Spurs climbing to 13th position, and as you saw previously, Fulham climbing still with a shout of European football. Fulham themselves next season.
Virgil, a missed opportunity to go 14 points clear at the top of the Premier League table today. Where did Liverpool fall short, would you say?
Obviously a very poor first half in terms of the goals we conceded. I think it was so unnecessary in the end. And then obviously you're fighting a very tough battle, but a very, very poor first half as a collective. And like I said, then we try everything in the second half. But if you're you ship 3 goals in the first half, then it's a very difficult task.
What would you put that poor first half down to? Did Fulham take you by surprise at all?
No surprise at all. I think I've mentioned it before. It's always a tough place to come, and I think the intensity that they can bring, obviously they showed, and obviously it was a great goal from us to get 1-0 up. I think obviously then it's individual moments that decided and they can score, and obviously that's the disappointing part of today, a lot.
Have a look at them. This after a really good start for Liverpool in the game, which Alexis Mac Allister got them up and flying, Micah.
Yeah, it was brilliant. You know, Liverpool like to press and Fulham tried to play out. I mean, very strong there for Konate, and then it's about getting the second balls. But I just love the touch here from Mac Allister, the way he gets it across the midfield there and then he strikes it so pure. I think you can see on this angle here with the touches, just gets it to the side of him so he could set up the shot, steadies himself, and it's a wonderful finish.
But what about the response from Fulham, Izzy?
Yeah, excellent response. I think we knew that they could cause problems in the wide area. They have all season. Sessegnon starts his run, running on the inside, allowing Pereira to exploit on the second phase, and then Sessegnon just reacts quickly. Micah highlighted at half-time brilliantly, you know, the positioning of Konate. Can he deal with it on that first attempt? But nonetheless, that finish from Sessegnon, wonderful.
And it seemed to shake Liverpool.
Yeah, it went from bad to worse from the defensively. So looking at Robertson, we're looking at experienced players making bad decisions, and then they're getting a chance to get the recovery, and they don't quite get in the right position. They don't get close people down, and ironically, then it comes off shot and target. And but the damage is done the first half for Liverpool. The defending from Liverpool nowhere near good enough.
But the best to last. Look at this for a touch as it comes back in here on the second phase. Just look at this from Muniz on Van Dijk, get off, and can he finish? Gets a little bit of luck going for the goalkeeper's left, but you see better on this angle, he just nudges him there, and then the touch and technique to get it round, and then the composure to finish. Really well played from Fulham. And we expected that because Fulham are a good side. You see it there? Talk us through that, Izzy.
Me?
Yes!
No, I have to say, this for Fulham after a tough week, the Arsenal game and the cup defeat must have really set them back. So this showed great characters to come back from being a goal down. Showed great qualities.
And character to get through the second half as well, because Liverpool had just 2 shots in the first half. They had 12 in the second, and when Luis Diaz edged one back, they could have been forgiven for crumbling and going under there, is he?
Absolutely. Like Micah said, damage was done in the first half, but this is all about Conor Bradley. The positioning inside as a fullback, but the pass into Diaz is brilliant. And then Diaz with a snapshot finish, and then this obviously Elliott. There's probably not many other players you'd want in the league, maybe bar Salah. In these moments, Elliott catches it really well, shapes it, beautiful angle on the ball, but it just hits the underside of the bar. But it wasn't Liverpool's day.
Matter of inches, Harvey Elliott, from coming back to haunt Fulham. But 3-2 it finished. So 11 points still their lead, and still a maximum of 11 points for Liverpool to claim the title. Let me just also highlight Fulham there in 8th place. Only 3 points from Manchester City in 5th spot, which, as we all keep saying, should be enough for Champions League football next season. So a lot on as well for City when they face Manchester United here on.
Yeah, Paul, we've talked before the game about the incredibly high standards this season, but actually when you look at that graphic, the Champions League, the Cup final and today, they've lost 3 of the last 4 games.
Yeah, and I think he has to look at himself. I didn't really blame himself, but I think he's shown a little bit of arrogance of late. It's almost as if you're not allowed to touch me. And he's been caught out for the goal, so I think Muniz, whichever one it was.
Muniz, yeah.
Muniz, sorry, but he absolutely bullied him today.
It's not a situation where a team's done enough to stay up and they can cruise the rest of the season. They've really got to set their standards high. Everybody knows that Liverpool are going to strengthen their squad. So everyone needs to be looking over their shoulders in that team. Arne Slot's there to stay. He's going to be looking at everyone, see how they react, see how they behave. And they want to win this properly. They want to win the title properly and get over the line as deserved winners rather than everyone. There's a potential for a narrative that everyone else was just pretty poor and that's why they won it.
When you look at those next 2 games, West Ham and Leicester, you would expect them to win that. But after that, could it be prolonged? You said before the kick-off they want it done as soon as possible.
Yeah, it could be prolonged, couldn't it? You'd expect them to beat them 2 teams. West Ham probably the harder one out of the 2. You just needed someone a bit closer to them. You know, Arsenal have really...
Will they be kicking themselves, Arsenal?
Yeah, they have to be, because this is a real opportunity for Arsenal. I think, obviously, with City not being in the... having the quality you'd have expected at the start of the year in the title race. So if Arsenal were a little bit closer, it could have got a little bit shaky for Liverpool, but it still could if Arsenal win the games. You have to think Arsenal aren't going to win all the games, especially with them 2 Real Madrid games coming up. But Liverpool they're going to limp over the line, I think. I think looking at that today, that performance, as I said, I sensed a little bit of arrogance about them, as if you shouldn't be able to lay a finger on us today. You shouldn't be able to beat us, and I think they've shown that in the last few weeks. A little bit of sloppiness creeping out. I think it comes from the captain. I think he needs to really make sure that there's a proper determination about him now to try and get them over the line as soon as possible.
By the manager's decision making. I just on an overall perspective of the game, listen, I've not that I've been critical, but I've always thought we would get to this point of the season where the needle's touching empty. You know, the manager's been very consistent with his team selection, very different to Jurgen Klopp, although Jurgen did try it in his first season. We got to January and we went on a run of about 12-14 games where we didn't pick up a lot of points. And I think he learned a big lesson there, that you can't just consistently pick the same 11, 12, 13 players. You've got to mix it up, and you've got to be brave and trust the whole squad, not just 14 players. You've got to believe in it. And there's been times when we've tried to name the team a Jurgen Klopp team. I remember a derby, I think we did, and he'd made 6 or 7 changes, and I don't think anyone in the ground had picked that team that he picked. It was just so like, whoa, they get over the line and win the game because he trusts the squad. Arne Slot, understandably, I don't think has complete faith in the whole of his squad. And I think when the team's winning consistently and you're picking a consistent team, it must be very difficult to make 4 or 5 changes at times. I think it must do. And I think you're going to get to the point where you're just running on empty.
I want to go back to what Linga said. It's only the 2nd time we've lost in the league. And it's like it's the end of the world for us all here. We're sitting here saying how bad we played and what we did wrong. I think sometimes because of the whole season, take the season as a whole, they've played so well over the whole season. A couple of hiccups along the way, still 11 points clear. Let's be a little happier. Come on.
No, but my point on what I was trying to make is, listen, it's been remarkable what's happened. But I think we were always going to get to a spell at the end of the season where we're going to get inconsistent results because we're just on empty.
Well, if we win the league, maybe that's the way to do it. Go this way, get everyone one, and so you'll be 11 points ahead with 7 games to go.
Well, I think that's Jurgen's philosophy. I think over the teams he's managed in his career, slightly different in Germany. I think he just goes full throttle, even with Borussia Dortmund when he won the title, full throttle. He gets that gap with about 8 games to go and just hangs on in there. by the fingertips they're hanging on, and by the end they just get over the line and win the title.
Not exactly by the fingertips now.
No, maybe not now. Well, I tell you what, I think it could be closer come the end of the season than 11 points. But I think we're going to win it. Of course I do.
Well, how about this? Liverpool trailing by 2 for the first time this season. Not the scoreline we would have expected, particularly given the start they made to the game. And how about this for midfield play, Roy?
Brilliant strike.
Alexis Mac Allister.
We've seen him do this previously. Liverpool pressing while it's still early in the game, obviously 13, 14 minutes. And then when he gets here, you're thinking someone's going to get to him. But he's strong, he's aggressive, powerful. And the end product, my goodness, what a beautiful, clean strike. And this technique is not easy when you're running with the ball at that pace. And just it's... Oh, what a goal. What a goal. I could watch that all day.
It's his touches, though, isn't it? It's that one touch. That touch just to set it away from him and then compose himself.
How clean is it?
The technique is brilliant.
Great start, but has there been sloppiness, Micah, about Liverpool's play today?
Yeah, they've been very sloppy, and the next angle shows it perfectly. We'll talk about it from Fulham's point of view. On here, I mean, they get the beat. Really good finish the way he just thingy. But I just want you to look at Konate here. Konate is in a centre-back position, and he's so worried about Jones. He's turned all the way, the wrong way as well, and as he run it on...
You mean he's worried about Jones doing his job from right back?
He's trying to say, get in, but then it leaves him flustered, so he's out of position. If he adjusts his position properly, he could head the first one out. I don't know what he's doing. He started the game so sloppily for Liverpool, and that was a bad goal to concede.
As is this one, with Robertson in possession there.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've seen Robertson play them across field balls many times in his career, but that is a sloppy one. And the header's sloppy, and then it takes a little nick off him again. This is not what you're seeing with Liverpool. Normally, they're so good defensively, but it's almost just like a pre-season game for them. Everyone's so calm and composed, and then just playing like they're not playing for the league. I don't understand what's going on. So many errors in them 2 goals there. And it's a good
Iwobi's fourth shot of the half. The most he's had in a game this season is 5. He's enjoying himself. You can see that confidence is flooding through these Fulham players now, and talk us through this exquisite skill.
Set piece, you know, Liverpool stepping out far too casually, and you can just see him, Muniz, he just has a little shoulder on Van Dijk. The touch is exquisite. The second touch is even better. You watch it here when he brings it in. Iwobi, probably one of the best assists he'll ever get. But look at this little touch, and the second touch here with his knee brings it down, and then the clean finish. He catches it really clean through Kelleher's legs.
But we don't see strikers bumping Van Dijk like
There's
this.
nothing wrong with that, and people expect Van Dijk. He's immortal.
What about the touch,
he gobbles everything up.
The touch is so clean, isn't it?
And he was looking for a free kick at the end of it. Van Dijk, listen, be strong, aggressive. Liverpool are going to play like... They're a mid-table team. They're waiting for the end of the season. Even the body language of some of the players there for the last goal, they're still walking out from the goal. They're not even smelling or sensing danger. Oh, Liverpool defensively, my goodness, how bad.
The first half was so out of character to what your team has done this season. What do you put down the performance in that first half and generally today?
I think especially 15 minutes of the first half. I saw also parts before we conceded or before we conceded the second one. Normal parts for us. So I saw some very good build-up situations, the way we positioned ourselves. So it wasn't 45 minutes of disaster. But the errors we made, I think, is something we're not used to, and that's something different than playing poorly, in my opinion.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, it must have disappointed you, those errors.
Yes, of course, but not only me, the players themselves, the teammates, the fans, it disappoints us all. But one of the reasons why we are in the position we are in is we don't make a lot of mistakes, and if we do, players try to make up for them. Now, this is also what we tried to do with the second goal, but unfortunately, instead of the ball being deflected going in behind, it went into goal. So this can happen, especially if you play a good team like Fulham. If you make mistakes, they have the quality to punish us. And I think in the end we created second half so many chances that we could have made up for it. But we lacked time. We lacked time, especially in the end, because in the first 20 minutes in the second half, it didn't feel to me as if we could score a goal. But in the last 20-25 minutes, I think it was clear for everyone that we could score the first. That's why actual playing time wasn't the most in the last 25 minutes.
given the advantage Liverpool obviously had going into this game, do you think they would have used a bit of complacency in the first half, or do you think it was just errors?
Nah, I think it's the last thing. I think there's no reason for us to be complacent because we are not leading. We're not number one at the moment because we win every game. We're a margin of 3 or 4 goals. I think everyone that has seen our games, it takes us so much effort, so much hard work to win games of football, combined with quality, of course. But the team that won the league the last 4 seasons were already 3-0 up at half-time every single game almost they played. And that's not the way it is for us. So we are fully aware of the fact that we have to compete for 7 nowadays, I think. 7 more games. We saw it on Wednesday when we played Everton. It was a close call. Today was a close call. And many times we've been on the right side. Today we were on the wrong side, mainly because of the errors we made.
There was a couple of moments of uncertainty with Virgil van Dijk. It probably has been in the last couple of games. Does that come with the territory of being this late in the season, or is it something you could probably look in deeper and criticise?
I mainly give credit to other players as well. So if you look at Beto, he's not the first defender who finds it difficult to play against Beto, because he's so, every time he's chasing for every ball, pushes it just before you get the ball. And the one that played there today was also, you have to give credits to him as well. I think I still see a lot of things that Virgil does really well. And if you play 50, 60 games a season, there will be also, even for him, 1 or 2 moments where he could have done better. But in general, I think if I look at Virgil's performance against Everton, except for this one time he missed the ball, he was outstanding. So I don't worry about him.
What was your message to the players afterwards? And would you agree that the league table still looks unbelievable for you with 7 games to go?
The message was mainly that I think that I told them that they showed great character the second half. But not for the first time this season. We had a difficult first half. It didn't happen a lot, but I can come up with Southampton at home, for example, where we played quite poorly. And normally we are able to make up for that because of the mentality of the team, how fit they are, the subs we can bring. But today it wasn't enough, and now we have a whole week to prepare for West Ham. And everyone needs to be aware, and they are. So I didn't even have to tell them. But the only way we can win a game of football is by hard work, 90 minutes, constant effort. Because I've said it, I think, a few times now, we are not the team that's leading at halftime with 3 or 4-0 with 3, 4, 5 acts of brilliance. It's hard work every time we won a game of football this season, except for 2 or 3 games.
James? You only made the one change, obviously, for the derby in midweek. Considering how flat it was for sections of that first half, do you regret not freshening it up to a greater extent?
No. Not because of that reason, because I think there were 4 days in between. And we've showed many times this season that that's not a problem at all for us, these players as well. And I don't think the errors we've made had anything to do with players being tired. And again, I know how it works. It's everywhere the same in football. If you concede 3 goals in the first half, everybody's like, wow, that was a disaster. Now, if you look back at it, knowing that you concede 3, you will probably see a few good moments as well. Because there were also good moments from us in build-up. I think after half an hour I looked at it was 1-1. I was like, okay, it's not our best game, but we have control over the game. But then all of a sudden I blinked my eyes and we were 3-1 down.
Thank you.
High energy always, high tempo always. And to be honest, our first pressure was very good. You always try to the right moments to press them. The 2 central defenders, most of the time they were under pressure. That was important for us to keep our block compact and not big spaces between the lines where we know that they like to explore. And of course we knew that after will come some balls in behind. I think we did control very well. As I mentioned, great commitment and attitude from our players related with our plan to the game from the first minute to try to have an impact and put them under pressure. As you mentioned as well, the shots that we had first half showed that was not just to be high tempo, high pressure team first half, was to play in our way. Some of the moments, the way we beat the pressure, we knew how the pressure will come from Salah most of the time to jump in Calvin Bassett, and we are well prepared for it. And I think most of the times we beat there well the pressure in our left on side, and we carry on most of the moments from that side too. Was a great performance first half, leading the score like you were. Of course, we knew that we had more, at least for 50-55 minutes to play, and in some moments they put us under pressure second half. Even if in the moment that they scored, the game was a little bit under control, I have to be looking for the game. The analysis that I made, the game was more under control. Was a moment from a throw-in for us, we lost the ball, and Liverpool in that moment, they are one of the best teams in Europe. The way they, from the defensive moment, they attack quick after winning the ball. We did it wrong, and of course we have to give credits to them. And after, boost their confidence, and they have one or two good chances to equalize the game. In that moment, we had a very good one with Harrison Reed as well in a good moment. I think overall, after the 3-2, they put us more under pressure, but until that moment, clearly we were the best team by far on the pitch. And overall looking, we deserve the 3 points against a team that, as we all know, haven't lost one game away from home in Premier League this season. It's the first time that they lost a game, and it's important for us not to beat them, but to get these 3 points that they were important. After the last 9 days for us, with 3 big games for us, the first 2 they were not or didn't get what we wanted and what was our ambition, and this afternoon was important for us. And in another big game, probably against the next champions in Premier League, to be able to bounce us back, to give something back for our fans, because they have been really behind the team, and the last few games at home, the environment, the atmosphere is being in a top level. Was important for us to give them something back, and even for us, because we are here to fight for something that we want, really something important for the football club, and these 3 points is going to be very important in the future for sure.
Ruben. Marco, especially after the disappointment of the FA Cup the other week, just how special was that today? Was that one of the most special matches you've had here at Craven Cottage?
It was important. I cannot rate this one bigger than some of the others that we have had too. There are 3 points. I know that get a bit or looks a little bit bigger because Liverpool haven't lost so far one Premier League game. Sooner or later, we all believe what is going to happen with them in the end of the season. But they were really important points for us this afternoon, because we have been strong. It's been a great season for this football club. In some important moments, decisive moments, like last Saturday, as you mentioned, we were not at our best overall, because the first 30 minutes was even better than this afternoon. That is true. The way we played that first 30 minutes, we didn't score, and after football is like that. You can be punished every moment if you are not there. But it was a great reaction. Be losing a game after 2 defeats, tough for us. Losing a game 1-0 against a top side like Liverpool, be able to react, score 3 goals during the first 45 minutes, and after show the resilience, the organisation, and all that stuff to be able to handle well the second half, I think was a great one. And as you said, what a way to bounce back, and more 7 games to play.
Do you think wins like that help you sort of bridge the gap and make a step in becoming teams like Liverpool?
No, one of the things really that is being or you change completely, and I have to say, is not talking about myself or my staff, it's talking about the football club. We have been changing completely the mindset of this club in all these games. That is clear for me. If you go back the last 15-20 years, how they were really tough, this type of games, and most of the times was not easy to be competitive. And in Premier League you can win or you can lose, but you have to be competitive. And just look back and see the story of our games between us and Liverpool is just an example. Okay, this afternoon we won, but last season we played semi-finals of a Carabao Cup against them and was toe-on-toe until last minute of the both games. Even all the Premier League games that last season, they were really there. And this season was the same. We drew away from home at Anfield, and just show the mindset is completely different right now. Is one of the things that please me more, because it's my is the philosophy that I want, is something that I want to see in the football club, and when the players they are able to respond in the way they did it, of course I'm really proud of them.
Daniel.
Marco, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You talked about the tactical tweaks and the aggression your team showed, but you talked about mindset. How important was it to see mentally from your side to come back from a goal down, especially in this final part of the season, chasing European football?
No, it was great. It was great. You just can compete with a team like Liverpool. Okay, you can talk about tactical things, as you mentioned. I think the way we prepared the pressure was really good first half, but you just can do it. And has to be connected with the tactical things and with some inspiration in the attack line, some play, to be connected with the high tempo and the big dynamic, because the way they press, the way they react, the way they are able from a defensive moment to go quick and attack, you have to be always on. Second half, some moments was more difficult for us to keep that really high, but was great reaction, the capacity to put them under pressure, to create chances, and was really good. Some good moments, some good goals from players as well. To see Cesc to score again an important game for us, very good performance from him in the first Premier League game as a starting 11. It was great. Rodrigo to answer again in a way that he did it. It was so nice to see it, and the players, they deserve all the credits as the fans.
Any further questions?
In terms of getting this sort of performance from now to the end of the season, how do you do that? Because obviously great performance today. How do you have this in the remaining games in order to make that final push into the second?
We are going to work very hard. Really, is the only thing that from the first day I promised everybody and our fans, that is the most important thing to convince them, is that we are going to fight really hard for the shirt and for our goals. That is clear. Premier League is so difficult that you cannot never switch off one day, not just in the training sessions, the players in their own life. You have to be always on, you have to always take care of you, because it demands so much from you. And the last 2 months of the season, sometimes more tired, less tired, but you have to be always there and push really hard. And next game, as you mentioned, is going to be against Bournemouth, away from home, in a tough one, and you have to be well prepared, because it's going to be another game that is going to demand high tempo, high energy from us, and the enough quality to go there and to try to win the football match.
Okay, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Liverpool started strong, and it was Alexis Mac Allister who put them in front with a stunning long-range strike. But that was as good as it got for Arne Slot's side in the first half. Then came the collapse. Ryan Sessegnon equalised after a cross ricocheted into his path off Curtis Jones. Alex Iwobi made it 2-1 after a dreadful Andrew Robertson pass gifted Fulham possession, and his deflected shot beat Craven Cottage. Rodrigo Muniz then stunned Liverpool with a brilliant solo goal, skipping past Virgil van Dijk before slotting home. Liverpool had never conceded 3 goals in the first half of a Premier League match since their infamous 7-2 defeat to Aston Villa in 2020. The Reds did rally in the second half. Luis Diaz gave them hope, finishing from Conor Bradley's assist. Mohamed Salah missed a golden chance, blazing over from close range, while Harvey Elliott rattled the crossbar. But it wasn't enough. Fulham held on to secure a massive win and end Liverpool's 25-game unbeaten run. Liverpool's defensive nightmare. Liverpool have been solid all season, but this was a disaster at the back. Curtis Jones struggled at right back. Andrew Robertson's misplaced pass led to Fulham's second goal. Virgil van Dijk was beaten too easily for Muniz's strike. Arne Slot will be furious that his side threw away such a great opportunity, especially with Arsenal dropping points. The Reds remain 11 points clear, but this defeat shows they're far from invincible. Fulham's European dream alive. This win moves Fulham up to 8th, and with performances like this, they might just sneak into the European spots. Rodrigo Muniz was outstanding, scoring 1 and causing Liverpool's defence all sorts of problems. If Marco Silva's side can find consistency, they could be playing in Europe next season. Mike closing. So, what do you think? Was this just a bad day for Liverpool, or are there cracks in their title bid? And can Fulham push for a European spot? Let us know in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for all your football updates. This is Sport Lab. We'll see you next time.